This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
Good evening. Welcome to Going Off Grid, episode 15. I am one of your co-hosts here, Sheep Bender, along with Crypto Queen. It is Monday, June 1st, 2026. And I appreciate all of y'all being here and everybody out there listening worldwide. Getting into some crazy stuff tonight, so going to get this disclaimer out the way. This is not financial advice. You can lose all your money investing. This is also not for educational or entertainment purposes. I nor anyone that is speaking is a financial, political, medical, betting, or any type of expert advisor. These are our thoughts and opinions on different topics only. This is being recorded for future rebroadcasts and clips on other platforms. Thank you. Community shouts out tonight as I put these up here on the board. But first off, just shout out to Crypto Queen. Just absolutely going through some heroics tonight, and just always wish wealth and health and well-being for not only everybody out there, but especially my friends, family, and loved ones. So, hope all is well. She might be tuning in. I see her as a listener. Hopefully she can come up tonight, but if not, I'm going to hold it down. We got a lot to talk about. Somebody wants to come up here and talk, great. If not, that's okay too. We're going to go through a couple of things. Queen, I don't know if this was your one from this week, but I'm just going to post it up because it's the last one I saw here. Your lessons from the trenches, and this one was titled as "The Price of Silence," which I found interesting. So I'm just going to post it up. If it's not, I can take it down. It's not an issue, but I'm going to post it up here. Also, speaking of community shout outs, just want to shout out Lads. Did a concert last Friday for the fundraiser at the Unruly Brewery. Big shouts out to Lads. And I almost forgot. Well, I did completely forget, I guess, for the entire month of May, since technically it is June 1st. But salute to all the graduates out there. Wait, hold on. I got a friend request, or not a friend request. I got a speaker request. Hopefully it's a friend. Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, Bender, I can hear you.
Hey, Queen, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Oh,
That's
my
not
goodness.
necessary.
Oh, my goodness. Absolutely necessary. Uh-oh, hold on. Wrong button.
That was absolutely not necessary.
Right. That one was not necessary. I'm not going to lie to you.
Are you just playing with your soundboard tonight? You're so happy to have that, aren't you?
I literally bought an iPhone for the soundboard. Some other goodies on Twitter too, but like 90% of it was like, I'm just really tired of not having a soundboard because it's really fun when y'all do the applause. Yeah. But no, it's great. How do you feel? First off, let's go there. How do you feel?
I feel okay. I'm getting there.
Okay.
I'm getting there, yes.
Based on your, I wanted to post up the one that you did from the hospital, but I was like, no, I'm gonna go positive with the lesson from the churches.
This is for you, Bender. I've been thinking about you when I wrote that post when the healthcare system tried to kill me, but AI saved me. That's for you.
No, I saw that, and you gave me some hope for AI and what the benefits of it will be. There's a lot of negative stuff going on. I didn't put down half the stuff I could have put down tonight, like Putin saying that it's taking all the jobs, or Larry Ellison from Oracle saying that he wants to now take all of our private information along with all the information they scraped off the internet from our intellectual property for free, and use that for AI too. I'm not going to go there tonight, but yeah,
You just went
it's.
there, Bender.
I know I kind of threw those in, but I'm gonna leave it at yours on a positive note, and glad that Grok was like, "Nah, don't take the doc's word for it. Like, go back, circle back, get a second opinion. Life's on the line. Alert, alert. That's beautiful. Shout out to Grok. How about that today? We'll salute the
Shout
Grok.
out to Grok. He's the hero of the story.
I don't want to ask Grok because I don't know what I'll get for the answer, but I kind of default to Guy, but I'm not sure. I'm
Look,
just,
the coolest thing this is the coolest thing. Like I knew he could do this because Elon posted that he could interpret your test results and stuff. But my gosh, like, okay, medical records now, they come across, like, I don't know if yours does this, but mine with my insurance, the test results come across before hours before the doctor even comes in there to tell you what they said. And sometimes they don't even tell you, if you don't specifically ask, you'll never know what they said because I think they just get in such a hurry and just kind of take for granted that you're a new patient or don't have all the information, and they just kind of brush over it. But you just copy and paste those into Grok, and he'll tell you exactly what the ranges are, where your test results fall, what it could mean, and in light of your diagnosis. And it's just amazing, like what the fine print that you get, those extra details that are so reassuring that you may not get otherwise. It's cool, really cool. If you haven't done that yet, definitely try that with your next set of test results. It's pretty cool. And the way I think of it, it's like, okay, you're getting, you may have a good set of medical providers, but you may not have the best. And it's taking information from the best medical journals, the best healthcare care systems in the country, in the world, probably, and giving you that information, things that your doctor may not even know about. And yeah, it's just really pretty cool.
wow, that's awesome. Um, I know, I know I've Googled a lot of symptoms, and it usually comes back like horrifying results. Um, and I just kind of stopped doing it because it was just like every time I did it, it was just like, what? Like, it could be a cold, it could be instantaneous hospitalization with, 99 other side effects. But yeah, I would say in your case, it worked out, and that's beautiful. And you know, we had this on a different episode. Again, those third parties, those engineers and stuff like that can, see stuff behind the scenes. But I'm pretty sure if there's one out there that you can ask and hopefully get, because I've relied heavily on Grok this week, y'all. I'll put it that way. We'll know a little bit more as we can move along here. But yeah, I would say Grok's probably one of the ones you can be like, all right, hopefully you can at least count on that portion of it. But nonetheless, even if you can't, Grok gave you the right answers. It worked out well. That's all that matters. Who knew 2026 AI involved is out here like semi saving my cousin's life. Yeah, I'm just can't say enough. Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it's really scary. Like when I went to my doctor, who I like trust and has been my doctor for a long time. When I like suggested treatment options that Grok mentioned, he was like, I don't know much about that. Let me read up on it. And then just sent me home like, you'll be fine. And
Wow.
no, I was not gonna be fine. Like, I don't know, it just kind of made me second guess my choice of practitioners. And not that I would believe everything Grok said. I mean, it's kind of like just another reference, but enough, it was enough to make me get a second opinion, which was really important in this case.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, heck, I talked to my financial advisor, dug a little deeper with AI, came up with some different options that I think will work out well. I think he gave me two options. I think out of the two, one I'm going to switch up on, one I'm going to keep. The other one's not bad either, but this other one is about the same risk, but a little bit higher percentage reward. I think I'm going to take it. So yeah, the AI is, all intensive. If not, I can't say, because they'll tell you, you can't rely on the AI either. I won't say, the fact check, but I will say, it does give you options to think about. And in your case, it worked out. So that's beautiful.
And another observation I have from being in the hospital is that how few nurses and medical professionals actually do what they're supposed to. Like, they're supposed to have PPE on, they're supposed to explain what you're doing, they're supposed to, actually act like they care. And I probably had two that came in over the course of the weekend that actually did what they were supposed to, like down to the T. And that's a little frightening.
That I will agree with you on. I will say my aunt, she's a nurse practitioner, and anytime a family member was in the hospital, she would immediately come up with like 5 different scenarios like a doctor wasn't even asking or thinking about. Like, well, what about this? Well, have you checked for that? Have you tested for this? And I'd just be sitting, and it never fails. We were in the hospital, she asked it, and the doctor would be like, no, I didn't. And I'd be like, wow. So yeah, there's a level of, caring when things are on the line that, I guess it's just like anybody else's job. Not to say I know you're in the healthcare industry, but, in terms of just people, going to work every day, kind of going through their routines, going through their little checkoff list, and it just so happens just to involve, humans' health. You might become a little bit numb or, whatever to the situation, and just might not look at it the same as somebody that's, looking at it from the standpoint of their life being on the line. So yeah, I can totally see that. Absolutely.
I don't know if they get in a hurry if they're just so stretched thin with the amount of patients they're seeing, or if they just, maybe the first couple of years of their career, they did everything by the books, but then they just kind of started cutting corners here and there. But it's actually pretty scary, the amount of people that don't even simply wash their hands when they leave your room, like,
oh, wow.
Like, at least wash your hands.
Right. That's real basic.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely real basic. That's scary, real basic. I'm just not even gonna lie to you. I don't watch it. I've never been in hospital and seen that. I'm not gonna lie there. I've never been in hospital and seen that. They always are like on point about that little stuff. But yeah, that's crazy. But I tell you what, we are here now. Appreciate you coming in. I'm not going to take up too much time on this in regards to everything, but being in these scenarios where literally, things are all good one moment and the next day not ever good, the same ever again in life. I don't take them for granted, and I'm just very, very grateful that you're here with us and able to talk right now.
Oh, well, thanks, real. Bender. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad everybody's here as well. Thank y'all for coming tonight.
Absolutely. And while I've been listening to you and talking, I've been posting some of these up on the Jumbotron. Just a couple of the topics, not even all of them, not even a third of them tonight, y'all, with everything. Are you up for trench lessons tonight, or you just want to, because we
Yeah.
got a lot.
Yeah, we're going to talk about silence,
Talk about what?
the price of silence, the one you posted.
Is that the one you would want to do this week?
Yeah, I can. I can. It's skipping ahead a little bit, but that's fine. It's a good one to talk about. Um, yeah, just let me know when you're ready.
Okay, let's get let's get to a couple of these topics here first. Shout out to everybody in the room here. First off, Zach from Subway, I got one here. Big shout out to you. You broke this on Pulse Switch before I even saw it on Twitter. I actually went to Twitter to verify it. I was like, wow, we'll talk about that in a moment. Big shout out to Deathwish Crypto. Got some upcoming spaces in June I seen. I'm going to go in there and check you out. Try to repost those here in a moment. Space Penguin Girl, not going to lie, I could not verify if that was you on TikTok because your name was different. But then I seen you tweet on TikTok, and I was like, oh, that's what I thought. Love the song. Salute to you. I would like to hear the whole version. Big shouts out to Gabby. She's going to be on tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern, hosting Seat at the Table. Got a real good topic about yield farming. I'm interested to learn more about that one. We got Oswaldo. I seen you in the building before. Appreciate you being back, as well as Sky High Crypto. Thank you for coming through. We also got Crypto Granny number 5. I saw you last week. Thank you for coming back through again. Julie the Cat, thank you for being here. Seems like you've been here every week. Appreciate you every single time, as well as you, Dosey, too, as well. Thank you so much. And everybody in there, probably anonymously listening, from what I've come to learn here on Spaces. So let's see. Let's kind of get into these ones. I just didn't want to leave this off with last, as this was like a whole lot to go through, Queen. But if you can start us off and give us a little bit of insight, because I saw this and I posted up here on the Jumbotron from your Queens of Crypto account. You tweeted about, I'm just going to pronounce it, Yee, being a one of the first women, I believe, to be listed in the Fortune 500 top influencers. You can tell us about what the meaning of that is and why that was so important. I'd appreciate you.
Yeah, I saw the headline too, and there wasn't a whole lot of information about it, but this is the co-founder of Binance, Yi. I guess that's how you pronounce it. She became the first crypto native executive to be named to Fortune's most powerful women global list. So I just thought that was really cool. A shout out to her. You know, you see a lot of women, on that list, of course, but this is the first crypto native exec. So shout out to crypto and to Binance for bringing the power to that list. So I just wanted to share that and let everybody know that was she was being recognized.
Yeah, I thought that was a beautiful thing too, as well, and especially being a co-founder of what's now regarded as I think in every way, shape, and form one of the largest crypto exchange in the world, centralized exchange in the world. In that regard is tremendous, and it seems to despite all the issues, I'll say, that CZ has gone through, has seemed to hold it down and take over and continue on that that prosperity on her own or along with the others without him too is pretty remarkable when you think about it. Thank you for that, Queen. Okay, so Hong Kong, which is technically doesn't play by the same rules as mainland China, as I'll say. A little bit less restrictive in terms of crypto and stuff like that. Had advanced virtual asset rules advisory management approved. I don't know exactly what that means. I was listening to Grok or reading Grok in terms of what that is, but basically it's like I'm just going to say it just straight up, like, if it's going on in Hong Kong, it's a good thing because hopefully it'll get back to the mainland and we could use 1 billion more people with access to crypto. So anything going on remotely close to China, I'm just going to celebrate it. And hopefully hopefully China just allows some other people besides Hong Kong to trade crypto. I'll just put it that way. Speaking of Binance, also, they are going to launch a U.S. stock trades to non-U.S. users. Binance is not allowed in the United States, but they're going to offer digital stocks, U.S. stocks, to non-U.S. users. I don't know how I feel about that, but it's information I thought everybody else should know. I talked about that last week. I'm not that bullish. I don't trust any of these crypto exchanges, and as we'll find out here in a moment, the DeFi ones ain't doing much better because they're getting hacked left and right. But we'll see. We'll keep it positive. Good for Binance. Probably why he's Fortune 500 top crypto woman. Stuff like that. Strategy. I found this one interesting. Shout out to Zach from Subway. This is what I was talking about earlier. Saw this on Pulse Switch. Make sure y'all check out pulseswitch.io. But Strategy sells 32 Bitcoin for $2.5 million. It was their first time selling any Bitcoin in 3 years. The thing I found interesting is because they've got like 800 and something thousand Bitcoin. Like, I don't even know if this puts any kind of dent in their books or if this is like some lunch money, a little hotel at Dubai night out. I don't know why. Why did you just sell 32 Bitcoin? Were you testing your sell options just to make sure everything is fluid? I'm not really sure, but the market reacted. I believe Bitcoin went under 72,000 this morning. I haven't checked it here today, but it was like 71 and change. I haven't checked it here this evening, I should say, but it was like 70. Yeah, it's still 71 and change, 71.1 right now, off the reaction to that. So could you imagine if like Satoshi just moved one Bitcoin out of his wallet? If 32 Bitcoin from Strategy did that, that's crazy. And they own like 4% of the market right now. So, yeah. But nonetheless, I thought it was great news.
Yeah, I know. It's funny that it's almost like a test transaction, isn't it?
Right.
But I thought it was kind of interesting then, just in thinking about this, was it just a signal to his board? Okay, I will do this. I said all this time that I'm not going to ever sell any Bitcoin, but there are times and places where, we may need to sell and you can count on me to do it. I mean, it almost felt like that. And I don't know exactly what the reason for it was, but it did feel a little that way to me. Did it to you?
Not only that, and I'm glad you brought that angle up, so I forgot about it this morning. I was like, man, maybe it's something, it's like a tester. Yeah, something like that. But then I was thinking, you could have done this at 126,000. He sold under his average. His average is 75 and change. And it's 70, what was it, 73 or something like that this morning. So I'm like, why'd you sell under your average, bro?
I think he actually sold at 77 something, but the news was a little late.
Oh, okay. Well, then he was up. Then I was smart. I was about to say, because they don't exactly buy the bottom. They don't buy a lot of dips. I'll just put it like that. But I would say the last month or two, he's done a lot better on his buys. I probably would have loaded up if I was him at 67, but I'm not him. I'm sure they have their reasons. But that's okay. A decent pump and they're back in the green. But yeah, I just found it crazy that the market just was like, all right, they dumped 32. We'll just drop by 8%. 2.5 million did not do that, y'all. So that was kind of crazy. Maybe they needed some help on putting some shorts out of business. I don't know. I mean, some longs out of business. I don't know. Let's see here. Coinbase and Uphold. I thought this was interesting because we talked about the Clarity Act and yield and the fight with the banks over the stable coins and that kind of thing this past couple of weeks, Queen. But Coinbase offered 3.5% on their USD. I think I got an alert from Uphold about some USD options and yield. And Yeah, I just don't know if it's just like in anticipation of what's to come, or they're just like, hey, that's not in the law on the books yet. We're just going to do it. I don't know. But I
And
just
what
found
did
it
you,
interesting that Coinbase did it.
and what did you think about Jamie Dimon calling Brian Armstrong an idiot or whatever he did?
I called him a cuss word, I think. F and something. But I've got that one from Wendy somewhere here in the chat too. But I almost think because he was like, "Oh yeah, the banks got to do this, and crypto only gets to have to do that, and this that." And I'm thinking, like, bro, didn't the bank lobbyist write your bill? Like, you're still not happy? And then I thought, like, you know what? This might be a little bit of theatrics going on here. So when the bill finally does pass, everybody's like, yeah, we beat Jamie Dimon. And Jamie Dimon's the whole time like, yeah, I gave up one thing, bro. I don't care. Like, we win it. I thought it was, yeah. And especially to go that route on Brian Armstrong on TV, a little bit of show and tell there. What'd you think?
Yeah, like he's going to say, okay, Brian, I'm going to call you an idiot. And then we're going to make this bill look like it's fair to everybody when it's totally not. I don't know. I just think in reading some of the excerpts from the bill, it's obvious that crypto did not get what they wanted. Not exactly. And the banks, are throwing a little fit about tiny little things, but overall, they're taking the cake on this one.
I mean, it's legit surveillance state. Like, the Genius Act just like let them freeze the crypto. Now we're going to just figure out how to watch it. But again, I don't know. It's who knows? Maybe if you're not a country, no, because we're going to get into more of that tonight. It definitely can be just the average person about to get caught up. We're going to talk about some things that they're able to do here right now later on. But yeah, I found that pretty interesting. XLM and DTCC, tokenized finance assets on Stellar. You know what? I'm just going to give, first off, a shout out to XLM. Just period. Point blank. XLM, y'all. I'm just not going to lie. It's just one of those tokens. I've read about it. I thought, like, oh my gosh, this is such a morally better token than XRP, but I just know XRP is probably going to pump first, and it did, and I felt bad about that because I was like, man, and they're always announcing crazy stuff. They're always building, they're always working, and every time I would look up, they're always like 30 cents. Like, I mean, their high was like 93 cents average or something. I'm like, maybe that was before I got into crypto. I don't know. Every time I've ever looked up, XLM's been like between 30 and 50 cents. And then finally I look up and I'm like, oh man, it pumped up 39%. And I go look at the chart and it's like 27 cents. I'm like, oh man. So it was like way down, but I faded it 10 when it was down. It's just don't let me lie. So just salute the XLM. I'm glad you're having a moment.
And if you've ever used XLM, like it is super fast. Like that's what I'll use to transfer stuff from sex to sex because it's just so fast and cheap. And you try to use XRP and then you have to put the memo in and all that crap and it takes longer. Like XLM is really a good way to transfer money.
XLM, I looked into it. It was actually developed by, it's kind of like, what's the guy from ADA, Charles? So like the XLM dude broke off from XRP, went and started his own thing. But it's like, yeah, they're like way more they're not for like banks. It's way more for like, developing nations. Like they did a deal with or collabed with or might even partnered with what's it called? Western Credit Union. Like, I mean, it's like a legit like cool company, like, you know what I mean, like a hipster XRP, like it really is. It's like a really good, like it's like somewhere you should invest like your money into, like, like if you just read about it. Like I was just like, man, I understand, but XRP's going to, like, I got to be smart. Like, XRP's going to pop. Like, yeah. And it did too. But looking back at it, but I'm glad they're having a moment now this week. Pump Fund, EVM multi-chain, BNB, Sol, Base, others. So if you want to trade crap coins, you can now do it all across all kinds of cool chains. SoFi, speaking of chains, SoFi, which is
And
an
then
actual bank.
can I
Yes.
go back to that one just for a second? Like, what do you think that does to Solana with Pump Fund being able to use other chains? Like, Solana is about to be flipped by Hyperliquid, I do believe. Like, is it still relevant, or did they ruin their reputation with degeneracy?
Well, about 6 months ago, when the whole AI agent on chain thing was really blowing up, right when that those claw clogs, I don't know what you call them, the whole claw movement came up. Sol retweeted a tweet basically saying we don't need meme coins anymore. We got AI agents coming on. They're going to dominate our chain. And the whole meme community flipped out on them. And even the Pump Fund guy weighed in and was like, oh, really? Like, that's how y'all feel? Okay. And then, like, right after that, because, like, how this started was they bought a couple other smaller trading terminals, Viper and I want to say Padre, which actually had these all set up. So that's what kind of got them on. So yeah, this might be in kind of retaliation of, Sol. But then also too, like you had, you had BNB or BNB chain. They had a nice run on meme coins there for a second, everything. So I think it's just ultimately Pump Fund, just making sure that they got their hands in the cookie jar, no matter, which way it goes to the next. I've even heard some people saying, meme coins might come back to ETH at some point, given what the gas prices are right now. We'll see how that goes. But I just think it's probably a lot more of both. When you look behind the scenes, I think it was like, hey, you know what, we can make money anywhere, and hey, you know what, Sol's acting funny, we'll show them. What do you think?
Yeah, that makes sense. You didn't. That makes sense what you said. Yeah, I don't know. I think it did, hurt the reputation because, a lot of serious builders may not, build on Sol because of all the crazy hype pump and dumps and stuff. But we'll see, remains to be seen. But they are within about $6 of being flipped by hype, which is going to take a lot of wind out of the Sol Maxi sales.
It's funny as you said that. I went on CoinMarketCap and was just doing a comparison between Hype and Sol, and I was like, man, this ain't too far off. And Hype's got a little smaller supply too, and I don't think Hype can print. I think it's circulating fixed. Probably not circulating. I don't know if all of it. I can't remember if all of it was circulating or not. I have to go back and check. But yeah, there's some glaring differences between the two. With that one, and Hype only been out since 2024, is at least even with the serious pump they just did recently, it looks very attractive compared to Sol. I'll put it that way. Not financial advice, but
and why did we not get in early? Why did we miss that call?
I don't know, but I look back at it and like it opened up at like $3 and change. So it's been a nice run for Hype. I'll put it like that.
Sure has.
Not financial advice. Probably might still be. You never know. Their supply is like 100 something million. I think it's like right around each, like 150, 180 million. So I'm gonna look it up now. She said that. Let me take a look here. Before I do that, United Texas Bank OCC charter clears $10 billion for crypto. Queen, I know you had sent me that one. these OCC charter things kind of explain to everybody like what's the importance of crypto getting these bank charters. If you're still there. Oh, she's listening. Okay, I can kind of paraphrase it for y'all. So basically they get access to move the money. So instead of needing, it's basically just taking a third party bank out the way. So instead of a bank kind of moving the money in between them, when you sell and take profits, and turn them back into fiat, these crypto exchanges will probably be able to do that themselves with everything there. All right, market cap. I'm sorry, not market cap. I got MC for market cap. MasterCard approved to operate crypto and stables in New York. New York State's hard to do crypto business in, y'all. I'll just put it like that. So I'm shocked. Like MasterCard was just now getting in there, but they are in there. I think Robinhood, for example, just recently got approved to do business in New York. For example, like it's kind of tough. It's almost like getting in Japan. Also, Coinbase was the first. These were kind of weird this week, y'all. So Coinbase was the first CFTC approved to give institutions access to perps, perpetual markets. However, Kalshi was the first in the U.S. that was trade regulated for crypto perps and futures. So I don't know if like Coinbase got the access and then Kalshi was the first one to do it, or Kalshi's, I don't know, but there's a lot of firsts going on there. Perpetual trading's going on in the U.S. right now. Hopefully it gets us a step closer. There's rumors that Hype is trying to get in the U.S. right now. Big shouts out to you, our coach. I see you in the building. Thank you for coming through. We'll see how that goes. Let's see here. CME Gap. I don't know if y'all know about the CME Gap, but whoa. Okay, so I just learned about this like about a month ago. So there's this like old school trading platform that was still delaying like crypto sales, like stocks, like the next day or by over the weekend, I believe. And then like all these trades would kind of come in later, and they just infamously called it the CME Gap. And so the CME Gap would just kind of give, traders a little weird zone to, finagle and finesse and that kind of thing. Well, they just went live. Now they're trading 24/7. And I just put, most of the major cryptos because it was like 7 or 8 of them that they actually list. It's like the usual suspects, Bitcoin, ETH, that kind of thing. So, but CME Gap, for those out there that did use it, no more thing. And then I posted this one. Did I post this up here to the Jumbotron? Hopefully I did. But I want y'all, yes, I did. I want y'all, when you get a moment, to take a look at this video with the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent. The reason why I say this, and I'm not going to go like into my full conspiracy of it, but I just want y'all to think about it. He says that the U.S., when they took $1 billion from Iran in crypto. And we talked about them taking Iran and seizing crypto for the past couple of weeks. But this one in particular, he was like, yeah, we grabbed their wallets. And he said it twice. And the reason why I say this is because he distinctly said, we seized their property, we froze their assets, but we grabbed their wallets. And I was like, how do you grab somebody's wallet? And there was just a lot of cope in the comments about, it couldn't be Bitcoin. I'm like thinking like, well, like the U.S. has got 400 and something thousand Bitcoin that they did not buy. So no, that might not be the case. And, it might be through Mt. Gox and however they got it, but they got it. Just all these different scenarios of what it was crypto, instead of just, like just all this. And I'm just thinking like, no, this is the United States government. Like if there's a way to grab a wallet, they figured it out. Like, so I don't know if it was a Freudian slip, but yeah, I'm just going to just leave that up to y'all to kind of ponder. Not financial advice, but I just found it interesting. FBI. This one's crazy, y'all. Big shout out to Clifford. I don't see him in the building tonight, but shout out to you, Sylvester, too. I see you in the building. But this one is really crazy, y'all. FBI bust scams in Asia, Africa, Middle East. 127,000 Bitcoin that they were scamming people out of in the U.S. This thing goes all across Dubai. Like they caught these people in these scam rooms. These people were like some of the people that were doing the scamming were doing the scamming against their will. Like it's just insane. I posted up there. I'm not gonna go too crazy into it right now. So I'm kind of waiting for Crypto Queen to come back, but it's okay. And then speaking of that, 74 that they know of that was on like major outlets, I guess you could say. But 74 crypto exploit breaches, hacks worth anywhere between, I'll just say roughly 183 mil and about 1.1 billion in 2026 so far. So 74 and counting. And this is like June, like we're halfway to the halfway. We're halfway there, I should say. And then Robinhood bought out WonderFi in Canada, passed all the regulatory stuff and everything like that for 180 million. So Robinhood's got a presence in Canada via this WonderFi, I think. And then I'm gonna go into that thought here in a moment. But this one I found really interesting. Peter Thiel. We all know him from Palantir. However, you probably also know him from being what they call the PayPal Mafia, one of the original foundings from there. But I gotta give him his props on this one, y'all. I'm just not even gonna lie, man. I gotta give like thumbs up to Peter Thiel on this one. So he stuck 1,700 of his preferred stock of PayPal in the time in a Roth IRA. Now this was 1999. The Roth IRA was developed in 1998. So he takes this when it was like worth pennies of PayPal, sticks it in a Roth IRA, has been letting it sit there all this time. It has grown to $5 billion, y'all. Not financial advice. That was that time I read the post. It might be worth whatever right now at the moment, give or take, but around $5 billion. So the Roth IRA, just to kind of give y'all some context of this, is tax free when you can take out the money after a certain amount and period of time. You can do that. It grows on an average of 7 to 10% a year. So I did the math on this, y'all. At $5 billion, at about 7% a year, would be about $350 million a year tax free. I believe he has to wait till 60 to kind of get to that level. Don't get me wrong. I thought I had read something about 5.5 years, and you were able to start withdrawing. Whatever it is, it's been a hold. It was some well thought out risk taking at the time, and for that to only be out a year and to put all of it together and just say, hey, I'm gonna take that chance, I just thought excellent gamble, excellent payoff, and you're gonna get, and then like even if you just used the 300 something million a year, like if you just did that, like it would just replenish itself like probably on average by the next year, give or take a few percentage points, depending on how the market was. But let's just say if you just did 7% a year, you'd actually get up a little bit more by 3% the following year, like at 350 mil a year, tax free. Like government can't touch you. Like I thought that was like, whoa, pretty cool. So gotta not too keen on the surveillance state here in the U.S., but that personal move, gotta salute Peter. Shout out to Peter on that one. Only thing I have for prediction, Mark, is nothing crazy in terms of the stories this week, but Spain did block Kalshi and Poly Market from operating there without a license. We just talked about Minnesota trying to block them last week and the U.S. fighting off that. Whole entire country just blocked them this time. So, yeah, we'll just kind of keep on that one. Let's see here. Queen, can you come back? No? I'll send you another invite. If not, we're going to keep rolling on. Let's see. I don't know if y'all saw this one, but I'm glad nobody was actually in the rocket. But this thing looked like a nuclear weapon going off in Florida, not going to lie. when I saw the video on it. No injuries or anything, according to Jeff Bezos. But the Blue Origin, the New Glenn rocket, blew up. Blew up the rocket. Blew up the launching pad. Estimated damages are somewhere between 500 million and $1 billion. Jeff Bezos said, that's life. We're gonna build back better. Even Musk got under there and just said rockets are hard. Hopefully everything's okay. Good luck to you on the next one. That kind of thing. He didn't throw no shade or anything like that. It's just one of those things. But watch the video, y'all. They got one especially where these people are flying in a plane and just happen to catch it, and it just literally looks like a nuclear freaking bomb just went off. It's crazy. Let's see here. Oh, this one's crazy too. So a former CIA person, I don't know, I think it's a decently ranking official, I'll put it like that. He got caught with 300 gold bars, about $2 million in cash at his house, worth $40 million. 300 gold bars, $2 million in cash, worth $40 million at the crib, y'all. I am like, whoa! It made the news so much that Trump said it's time to go out and audit Fort Knox, which is worth or has an estimated $667 billion in gold. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't think all the gold's at Fort Knox, and I think the U.S. has got way more than $667 billion. I'm just gonna put that out there. Not financial advice, but we've looted enough countries. I'm pretty sure we're in the trillions of gold. Or either that, we've been giving it to the aliens. But if it's on the planet, we got more than a trillion. That's just my educated guess. Speaking of Trump, so Trump buys like 5 million in Dell stock. Tells everybody to go out and buy Dell. Dell goes up 12%, right? This is like early May. I'll just say early May. They just announced last week, though, $9.7 billion deal for 5 years with Dell and the Pentagon. After Trump tells everybody to go buy Dell after he buys the stock up to 5 million. Just say it. I don't know where that falls at, because if you that's just basically like one of us going like, hey, you know what? I just bought some crypto. Check it out. Not financial advice. Do your own research. Like, you didn't have to go out and buy Dell. I don't know if that's necessarily insider trading on the just go buy a Dell part after you bought the stock and you just happen to be the president with a lot of people that'll listen to whatever you say. But maybe the Pentagon part, maybe some area there. There's some area that's gray there. Queen, are you back up?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
And look, the other part of that story is just how much Trump has made over the past quarter trading these stocks. And a lot of them are ones that, later had government contracts signed or whatever the case was. But he's up. He's a better trader than Nancy Pelosi at this point, I do believe.
Worldwide Liberty just blew him right past Nancy. Heck, Trump coin might have just blew him right past Nancy. Like, took Nancy 20 years, he did in like a weekend.
How is this even legal? I still don't understand how even Congress men and women can trade. They have so much inside information. It's just crazy to me that this hasn't been outlawed by now.
Well, like we talked about last week, Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, Republican. I try to be fair across the board, y'all. I believe I am politically neutral. Like, I think both sides are corrupt. But Mike Johnson did say, they should be able to trade in order to supplement their 174,000 top 10% of the country income, because, they got to work in Washington and then go back home to their home districts and feed their families. So that's the reason why, Queen.
Thank you for clarifying that for me. It all makes sense now.
174,000 with all your benefits, health, everything paid for. That's just,
full pension.
It's free health
Security
care,
for life.
right? Free health care, just Yeah, you probably ain't even paying for the plane back and forth. You probably got some slush fund for that too, along with your other slush funds. Yeah, you know. But I will say the thing that gets me is like, like most of these people are like millionaires before. Like very few of them aren't millionaires before they become it, Congress people. So like the 174 grand is just like really
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
like it's probably just like some throwaway money, like some like some pocket change. Like like and I get 10 grand for coming up here to do this. Like all right, I'll take like 10, 20,000 a month too. Sure, you know. But yeah, that's crazy. Um, I don't even know where I was at. Where was I at? I don't even know. I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot tonight, y'all. There's a whole lot. Queen, give us some lessons from the trenches. I'm gonna come back. I forgot where I was at. Oh, I was at a purpose stopping point action. So that was good. Yeah. Give us a lesson from the trenches. I'll come back and do the rest.
Okay. All right, sounds good. So this lesson is called The Price of Silence, and it kind of made me think of this when I have been hearing so many people hyping up coins that have no future, that are really have shady people behind them, or are known rugs. And I'm just like, okay, where do we end this insanity? And so I got to thinking, like, how many times we've seen somebody new come into a Discord or Telegram or onto X and be so excited about this new token they found. And we all know the history of the person that launched this token. And that they have like 10 rugs under their belt, and this is probably just going to be another one in a long line of rugs. But we don't say anything because this person is so excited about it, and we're like, okay, well, they're going to have to learn the hard way. Let's just watch how it plays out. And that's one way to do it, of course. But really ethically, we need to call these people out, and we need to bring it to their attention that, hey, man, this is probably not going to end well for you. And just how, staying silent can eat at your conscience, and, just make you just feel bad as a person. And if you had called it out or helped to bring it to their attention, maybe you would have had more peace about what you're doing here in the space. And I think we're all here for a reason, and one of those reasons is to be the veterans in the space, and to be the ones with the knowledge who paid the price one way or another, expensive tuition. And we can help guide these people along the way, and that's just the right thing to do. And one thing I like to remind myself is, if you see something, say something. And maybe I say too much. Sometimes I think I do say too much. But I know how it feels, and I know how it feels financially, emotionally. Um, just you get drained, or you get rugged, or you get fished, and it just makes you really question why you want to be here, and why you want to continue with this, being supportive and trying to onboard people to crypto. Because sometimes you look around, and all you do is you see the negative, or you see scams and bad actors, and it's like, okay, what are we really here for? But I think one way you can feel good about your presence in this space is if you do help those people, give them a hand up when you see something. So when you see something, I just want to encourage you all to say something. Maybe it, burst their bubble for a second, but they'll thank you in the long run. And maybe you'll never get them to see what you see or what you know. I mean, there's plenty of us who've tried to open people's eyes to different things around them, and they will deny it till the day they die, and they will call you a scammer. And I don't know how that ends up you being the scammer for trying to call out scams, but somehow it does end like that. And a lot of people in this space won't say anything because they either don't want to get involved, or they don't want to bring any negative light to themselves, or they don't want to flood their own bags. Maybe they have some bags of this, and they're not going to say anything because they don't want the price to go down. But Regardless, I just feel like, even if I have a bag of something, if I know something's wrong, I'm gonna call it out because that's just the right thing to do. So basically, your voice may feel small, but in the right moment, it becomes a lifeline for somebody. Crypto rewards real courage, the steady, protective kind that says, not on my watch. So next time you hesitate, remember protecting each other isn't just karma, it's how we build a space worth winning. So speak up, lift others up, and keep the trenches honest.
Keeping the trenches honest. Thank you, Quinn. I think I, I think at some point, y'all, about what was it? It was December of 2024, and my this was going into 2025, and at the time, I just had to make a decision to kind of peel back and because I had a lot going on, and then there was just a lot going on each week with the sheet recap and all the different angles and information, and just like trying to keep up with everything there that I just had to just step back for a minute. I think I didn't. I don't even think. I think I just listened to Spaces for like literally a year. Um, I think I might have hopped in and spoken one or two. But during that time, saw a lot. Probably didn't speak up as much as I should have. And just for my own mental health, just because of some of the things that I was seeing, I think it was more of a moment of okay, like you've dodged a bullet, but you can't keep saying what you're saying, knowing what you're knowing after you've seen it, you know. And it was just kind of like my choice of like, all right, like I'm tapped out, like I'm out. I'll holler at y'all next go around. And I think I told some people privately at the time, like, I'm going right back to the essence. I'm going to sheet, nothing else. All that other stuff just doesn't matter to me at this point. Uh, and I'll be cool with that one. So I salute you, Queen, because I know you even put out a tweet here recently, like you back on your BS. You're gonna keep calling it out. You don't ever stop. Like you said, you've gotten into some pretty crazy things here. Like I still see some things going on right. What is happening with y'all this week? And it's like, yeah, like do I even have the brain power today to go through that? No, I took a deep dive down a rabbit hole in a thread the other day, and I was just like, this is chaos. But generally, since speaking, I think like if there's something obvious that I feel like I see somebody that I know promoting and that kind of thing, and I don't think that they realize what they're getting into. I might go ahead and get back to at least sending a DM like, hey, watch out for this, watch out for that. I do believe um, calling people out publicly on things sometimes can lead to exactly what you said, where they get real defensive about it. They don't, not only do they not want their bags, to go down because they're in it, in terms of that, but, sometimes a little bit of that embarrassment factor comes into play too, and nobody wants to look like a fool, especially out in public, and that kind of thing there too. Sometimes, it might be better just to make a general post, and or tweet, and, the people that are, when they say hurt dogs holler, they'll come to your replies. They'll let you know. So, but for the other ones that are out there, it was like, hey, that's a nice heads up. I'll look to avoid that, or hey, I got a bag of that. Let me look into that. Make sure everything you're saying is there and true. It has helped out in the past. I will tell y'all, what was it? It wasn't Trump. It was, gosh, I can't remember the name of it. It was like some Trump related coin. Like, I can't remember, y'all. Don't let me lie. I don't know. It was like right when I was first getting into crypto. And like a couple of the homies that I was on the timeline with, they were promoting it. And all I did was I just replied to like the tweet. I was like, really? This is such and such. And I'll never forget um, Dizax jumped right into plies like, don't buy that. That's a straight rug pull. And I'm like, holy cow, bro. Like, calm down. Like, and I mean, I'm just kind of, yeah, just kind of joining in the conversation. I don't even know if I was thinking about seriously buying it, but he was like really looking out. And I swear to y'all not, the very next day it completely rugged. I was like, holy cow. I never bought it, but it was just like, homie was looking out for me, and I appreciated that. And from that point on, I kind of took, everybody's, warnings. At least I'll listen, and then make my own decisions and do my own research. So, yeah, I'll say, that's a definite lesson. I think we all can relate to, and salute to you and others that go out here every day and fight the good fight. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not always in it. I'm just not gonna lie to you. But yeah. But sometimes it's just better just to leave some things alone.
Well, you
Clifford,
have
big
to
shout out to
protect your
you.
peace. First of all, first and foremost, you have to protect your peace. You have to do what you feel comfortable doing. I mean, even look at even Zach XBT. He's out there doing good things every day, calling out these kids, and here they go and expose his, his name, his picture, everything. And so, there are really bad actors in space. I mean, people who give you death threats, people who may potentially even act on those threats. And so you have to be careful. But, when you can, you feel that it's the right thing and you feel peace about it more than you feel peace about not doing it, that's when you should speak up.
Yep, I agree, and I think I'm just gonna keep it completely real with y'all. Y'all, I am numb to a lot of things just because I'm in sales and like you have to detach your feelings from reality. When you're talking to, an elderly person and they're giving you some like insane, sad life story and you're just like, yeah, but you're here to buy something, and we both know that, like it's just, but it's like, like, it's just, that's just one example, y'all. Like I get caught up in this kind of stuff on a daily basis. So, it, I don't, I almost can look at the human aspect in humans different sometimes. Like I can totally separate the two, and I can just look at people like, I don't know. It's just different, and it really numbs you to it because you really do get some really messed up things going on in people's lives, and you just know like, all right, but you're still here to take care of business, and we both gotta kind of move past this, and take care of business. So, um, just sometimes when it's like, hey, like, no offense against y'all, but if I can see it, you can see it, and if you don't see it, I don't know what to tell you. Like just sometimes like, it's just, I don't know. I just go there, and I'm glad Queen brought this up because maybe I need to look into self and find a little bit of soul humanity there and get back to kind of being more on doing the right things. So salute to you, Queen. That's really beautiful.
And
I'm glad you
Bender,
have asked with it.
one other thing I've learned this year that's been kind of eye opening to me is like you can't save everyone, and I have to remind myself that some people just don't want to be saved, or they're not ready to be saved. You can tell them a million times, they're not going to see it. So at some point, you just have to step back and say, "Okay, DYOR, figure it out for yourself."
Like I've seen that happen a lot. Yeah. I think that's kind of what makes it easier. Like, okay, like y'all just didn't learn last week, the week before, last quarter, the last 3 years. Like you just didn't learn yet, huh? Okay, like I'm done. You know, like I'll let y'all in 2026. I'm out. Oh man, yeah.
Win V2,
Again,
Bender. Win
yeah.
V2.
When what?
Win V2.
V2. Oh gosh, don't get me started on V2s. Not financial advice. If your dev ever announces a V2 is coming, sell. Sell immediately. Don't pass go. Don't wait for bridge. Don't wait for new V2. It's always, I've never met a V2 I liked. The only V2 I've ever heard of in history is V2s as successful as ETH, and that's probably because it just came out early in crypto sometime. Every V2 I've ever heard of since I've been in crypto since 2021 has been a disaster. Not financial advice, but I would just absolutely leave a V2 alone. V2 cost me a lot of stacks. FV2s. Just I'm sorry, it might be just my personal experience. Me personally, FV2s. Shout out to Clifford. Appreciate you coming in, bro. I don't know if you heard me earlier. I don't know if you was in here yet, man, but I talked about that article with the FBI raids, man. That is crazy. Just another example of government being able to do stuff in crypto that we thought was decentralized. Maui Suzuki, love the name. Thank you for coming in to the space this evening, along with Kai K 1.2, 1.2, dot 2. And then World Blockchain Capital. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for quote tweeting the space too. Everybody retweet the space if you can. Everybody else that's been hanging in here, Space Queen will grow. Everybody, Zach Treasure, see you in the building. Gabby, Sylvester, Death Wish, Alvaro, you've been in here from the beginning. Crypto Granny 05, Julia Cat, thank you all. Appreciate it. And thank you, Queen, for another lesson that makes me reflect and inner audit my thoughts. All right, y'all. We ain't got much time. Let's see here. Yeah, went through all that. Okay, so we're down to the nitty gritty here. Trump appoints Pam Bondi to the White House AI board. I read about this a little bit, and it's really interesting. This is not like some random title. She's no longer Department DOJ, prosecutor type thing. Like she's going to be dealing with, handling things for NVIDIA, being a liaison, and these. It's like a serious position, y'all. Real long story short. So, just to kind of see what was done with the Epstein files, this is on my radar as her appointment to the White House AI board. Like, my red flags are up. We'll see how it goes. Visa. They partner with an AI coding platform called Replit for AI agent payments. We'll see how that goes, but AI agent payments are a thing this week, I guess. Speaking of that, Google made a deal with, or partnered, I should say, with Sui for AP2 AI agents that help them pay for their consumers. Robinhood, AI agents, this was actually, Queen, I'm not even going to lie, this one actually made me bullish on Robinhood. I think I actually might go ahead and finally do the KYC, set up an account, but their Robinhood Market is actually going to allow AI agents to trade your stocks. Eventually, might go to crypto. Not financial advice, but and credit card purchases right now too. So managing the portfolio for stocks, some credit card purchases might go to crypto. AI client. This is kind of crazy. So an AI client didn't name the company, but said that the company spent $500 million in Claude tokens because they forgot to set an employee limit. So like the employees just ran up the bill, just ran up the check to 500 million. And so like tokens, if y'all don't know, are like different than like, you know, a flat fee per month or a subscription rate. So Queen, I just gave this analogy to you. Like instead of you paying that $99 for FSD each month, you know, so it can self-drive you around town and you're really cool and you can just, you know, tweet and all that kind of stuff while you're just driving. So it's like instead, like, you know, you get charged for the turn signal, you get charged for changing lanes, you get charged for you know, a parking space, you get charged for hitting the gas, slowing down on the cruise, that kind of thing. Like that's what these tokens basically account to. Like it's kind of crazy. Like I'm shocked how they get away with the token thing. But I guess, you know, if you want access to the big dog. And like how do they get the AI to charge by the layer of like intelligence is what amazes me. You know, that too, but that, you know, leave it up to humans to figure out a way to charge it. But yeah, 500 million got ran up on the block. China, y'all, rolled out a 29-digit ID for robots. Two of these 29 digits, by the way, the 29 digits is similar to their 29-digit ID for humans. But two of the digits, the difference between robots and humans, two of the digits are used for cross-border tracking. So they're going to use this for like all kinds of different robots and all kinds of different industries. And apparently they're going to be able to track them when they sell them overseas. And they're all going to have their own digital IDs. China. FBI warns of anti-tech and data center extremism. I think we talked about this, Queen, last week about why I should probably not apply for, or why I should not report to the FBI about certain things in life. This is probably one of those reasons why, because they probably, who knows? I'm not going to say that out loud. But yeah, they had me there. Anti-tech data extremist. Like, might be a way you could describe me. Not financial advice. Okay, so Chris, this is crazy, y'all. This is a little bit on health and life. So Driscoll strawberries, for y'all that don't know, if you go to a grocery store, there's a 1 out of 3 chance that you can get a Driscoll strawberry. I just happened to go by my local grocer. Sure enough, I walk in, bam, there's Driscoll strawberries right there in my face. But it's been linked to 38% higher cancer risk in the area that they grow these strawberries out in the farms of California. Now, you can't directly say it's a Driscoll strawberry thing because there's a lot of fine print with Driscoll strawberries. Kind of don't own things, but they own, you know, like the farm. Like somehow it just ends up on the packaging. So I can't directly say, you know, on a platform like this that it's Driscoll strawberries, but they just so happen to be called Driscoll strawberries. There just so happens to be farms. There just so happens to be schools nearby that just so happen to be getting 38% higher cancer rates. But then they show them, and I think I got it on the Jumbotron here. They show the process on this stuff, y'all. They got all these kind of crazy pesticides in it. They're injecting it with this stuff. It's getting bleached. It's getting, I'm just like, dude, strawberries? Like, really? You can't even trust a strawberry? Man. And we talked about this last week, you know, there too, with some other stuff. But yeah, just do your own research, man. Just watch out for strawberries right now, y'all. It's crazy. We talked about this one last week. Well, I shouldn't say we talked about this, but we talked about ticks last week. You know, carrying a disease that can potentially make you allergic to meat if you get bit by them. Well, this week, Google announced that they want to release 32 million genetically modified mosquitoes in Florida and California to combat disease. They're currently waiting on the EPA to do that. So 32 million genetically modified mosquitoes. And I just kind of thought about it, y'all, and I'm like, Google doesn't seem like, you know, the kind of company that just wants to help out humanity, but apparently they did this actually in a whole different country and it kind of worked out. I don't know what the side effects are, the long-term effects, but the disease rates went down. Like, hold on here. I got the actual name of the disease here. Let me make sure. But it's a crazy name for a disease. What was it called? Oh yeah, Walbachia mosquitoes is what they're called. So they applied to the EPA for permission to do this. The male mosquito uh, apparently goes out. It doesn't bite, but then like it mates with the other mosquitoes that do have the issues, and that brings down all this stuff. But it had let's see here, causing population to shrink. Little assessed like 95% reductions in Fresno and lower Dinju cases in Singapore. So genetically modified mosquitoes. There's a for and against cause with it, and a lot of people are just basically saying, yeah, don't mess with Mother Nature. Well, blockchain capital, we got you up here. Hopefully, I can get crypto clean back, but we got you up here. How you doing tonight? Well, blockchain, can you hear me? Nope. Okay, we're back to listening. We might be having some technical issues, y'all. I never know. Spaces be spazzing. Good news, y'all. Detroit, Philly, Memphis, Baltimore, District of Columbia, better known as DC, Oakland, New Orleans, New York City, Houston, Dallas, like some really top major cities, y'all. Homicide rates are either down to all time historic lows or as low as 26%. Some of them were as high as 40%, though. I just want to give a shout out to all of y'all. From a person that lives in a top 20 city and sees an unnerving amount of violence on the news every night, just salute to y'all for decreasing homicide rates. I don't know what it's attributed to. I'm just going to say thank you and salute to all of y'all out there doing the lesson homicide rates. And last but not least, I wanted to make sure. I'm just kind of going through here just to make sure I caught all the other ones up. One I want to kind of put on y'all's radar. Now, for all you Tesla loving fans and ones that invest heavily in Tesla, cover your ears. But yeah, so Elon Musk announced an IPO that's going to be a combination of SpaceX, XAI, and Twitter. And the initial, what kind of caught this on my radar was Elon was first talking about, I had seen it, a post where he had just said fake. And I was like, well, what's fake? And then it was, I think it was Zero Hedge that had tweeted that Elon Musk had planned on lowering the valuation for the IPO from like 2 trillion down to like 1.5. It was like fake news or something like that. So I was like, really? So I kind of happened to see it trending. And I clicked on that just to kind of get a little bit more information. And I kind of thought about it at the time, and I was like, man, 2 trillion seems like a lot for SpaceX, XAI, and Twitter. Like, we're talking like Grok and rockets, like 2 trillion? Like, maybe, is there something I don't know about that? And I started thinking, like, well, maybe is he thinking about the XAI and the robotics? Maybe. You know, so I kind of did a deep dive into this, y'all. And turns out the crazy thing about it is that and I've got them pinned up here, and they haven't been community noted or anything, but the one lady kind of put it really eloquently. But before I even get to that, World Blockchain Capital, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I'm just checking in, saying hi to everybody. Hope everybody is having a good evening. Today, I'm always all over the place, as Jen knows. Today, I'm coming in from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
That's dope. You've been like all across the country here recently. What's your favorite place recently?
Recently, like this year, places I've been to, I'd have to
Yeah.
say
Well, what's your favorite place?
this year, a place that I've been to thus far with my experiences, Chicago, because I got to see some friends I hadn't seen like in
Okay.
15 years.
Okay. I've been watching your TikTok because I know you're up in West VA and that kind of thing there too. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's great.
Oklahoma. What's going on in Oklahoma right now? Hopefully, no tornadoes.
No, no tornadoes. I mean, I actually don't even know when tornado season is. I haven't seen a snake yet, which is great. No, there's a few candidates running here. One is running for office, who's a very, very pro Bitcoin candidate. So we're helping him get elected.
That's beautiful. Well, I hope that works out in your favor.
Yep.
Uh, good. Is there a treat space tomorrow?
Yes, there will be a treat space tomorrow. Everybody's welcome to come in, but yeah, like let's enjoy the space tonight. I made it to the space here with you guys. I'm here to enjoy it tonight.
All right. Hey, tonight is the no. I can't sing, but yeah. Feel free to post that down there, Gabby. Please post that in the comments too. Y'all post something in the comments. I'll put it up on the jumbotron. Sylvester too. Post your Twitter up. I mean your space up here too. Feel free, y'all. Make sure to get that. Like I literally thought about all of y'all when I started them on Mondays. I don't think Gabby's has started yet, but I just looked at Tuesday and told Queen like, man, there's a lot of people doing spaces on Tuesday. Maybe we should just do this Monday.
There's a reason for that. I think it's because it's like the busiest day traditionally of the week before we went to this 24/7 world. So people like that's just the day everybody wants to do a space.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with something like where we do some headline stuff and everything. I didn't want to go on to Tuesday because that literally like Monday could like double the lineup list because there's a lot of stuff that drops Monday through Friday, and then like I don't know, we got such a wide range of topics. Like we get crushed over the weekends now too. I try to slow it down, but I'll tell Queen to slow it down, and I'll send like 4 things to the stuff over the weekend myself. Like, oh, that's crazy. It's an interesting headline. Oh, a rocket ship blew up. Let me post that. That kind of thing. So shout out to you, man. I appreciate you coming up here with
But by the
everything
way,
too.
just shout outs to Queen. I hope she's doing well. And just Crypto Mom's not here, but she gets it for me because basically she's my whiteboard for my questions on Tuesday. So I'm spending like every day I'm thinking of new questions and sending them to her. So like yeah, shout out to the ladies that are doing a lot in the background and obviously showing their faces out there too.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of getting docs, yeah, the ladies definitely step up. Along with yourself, though, I see some new people entering the building. Cesar, appreciate you coming through, as well as Juncy. We also got, what is this, GoyaBeam.base.eth. Love the name. Appreciate you coming through, too, as well. Everybody that's been in the building, hanging in here with us tonight. Thank you all so much. Like I was just talking about here, Robot Chain, getting a little bit into the SpaceX IPO. Now, normally, 1.52 trillion, I would just be like, you know what, Elon, do your thing. You want to announce it, people want to buy into it. That's fine. That's dandy. Do your own research. If you're part of the whole X brand, and everything X, Elon likes to X out, do your thing. But this one in particular, y'all kind of caught my attention. Not gonna lie. Reasons why. A couple reasons why. First, NASDAQ has rewritten the index rules specifically for this listing. 10% minimum free float requirement, gone. The 3 to 12 month seasoning period before index inclusions cut to 15 trading days. Companies with small floats can now be weighted at 3 times their actual float. Translation, every passive index fund, every 401k, every pension is about to be force-fed to SpaceX, whether they want it or not. Class A shares carrying 1 vote each, while Musk holds 93.6% of the Class B super voting shares at 10 votes each. That gives Elon an 85.1% of the voting power on a 42% economic interest. He can't be outvoted. He can't be removed as CEO, CTO, and board of chairman simultaneously. For reference, y'all, Zuckerberg controls about 61% of Meta. Warren Buffett controls about 35% of Berkshire. Musk at 85+%. SpaceX is also claiming control company status, exempting it from meeting a majority of the independence directors. Shareholders waived the right to a jury trial. They waived the right to a class action. Mandatory arbitration only. Courtesy of the SEC rules change pushed through on a party line voted last September. Now, not only were the rules rewritten for this one, they're supposedly going to try to push this also through for Anthropic and what else is the other one? OpenAI in regards to that one. But with Elon in particular, I just pulled up some of the numbers. It's like I told you, I was thinking like rockets in Grok, like even if you add the robotics in, like 1.52 trillion. Like that seems like a whole lot. Like who's that? Like there's 1,000 billions in 1 trillion, and you're talking 1.5 to 2 trillion. So I looked this up, and currently, right now, SpaceX revenue 18.7 billion. Actually ran at a loss, and this is with Starlink, actually ran at a loss of 5 billion. So 18 billion owes like 25 billion overall with like a $5 billion loss. Twitter at about 1.8, Twitter and X, Twitter and AI, I should say, at about 3.2 billion combined with that one. And everything. So about 18 billion, overall. And I'm sorry, it's about 11.4 billion with Starlink, 4 billion for the launch, X and AI about 3.2 billion. So I said, you know what? Let's just throw in everything. Let's just throw in everything. And not only let's throw in everything, let's not just do it for this year, which it was like right around 95 billion for Tesla, Boring Company, XAI, Starlink, Neuralink. I think Neuralink and Boring just are kind of just like loss leaders. Like I don't think they're making money. I think he just kind of does those in regards to that. So that was like 95 billion, for the year 2025. But historically, everything combined, total revenue was about 600 billion with all those companies I just mentioned. A net loss of actually 3 billion with this one, and most of the profits came obviously from Tesla. Tesla became profitable basically in 2020. Took a little downtrend right after, pretty much after Trump just took away the tax credits for the electric in regards to that one, and the 600 billion is offsetting a lot of the SpaceX and other stuff, 41 billion loss. So the actual net of the company is actually about 3 times less than the evaluation of the stocks go. But the thing that concerns me again, y'all, is the fact that, this has got to go into people's 401ks and everything else, and they're not going to have a chance to dump like these. Just to kind of give people an idea, they did an example with David Sachs, who's a pretty famous investor. He put, now granted, this was 2003, so I mean, you've been a holder for 23 years. Don't get me wrong. 23 years is a long time to hold. But they gave an example, I believe, of like 54,000 if you had invested in SpaceX right around when it was 54 million. With this IPO evaluation of 2 trillion, his 56,000 would now be worth 5 billion. So going from 56,000 in 23 years to 5 billion. Just kind of give y'all an example, that same 1,700 I was talking about with Peter Thiel. If you had put that in at 1999 and an average of 7%, 7 to 10%, just let it compound, up to this date, without the 5 billion part where his stocks went up, it would be about 13 to 22,000 right now. So that's a heck of a return on investment for a company that just even on paper solidly combined over its lifetime is not even worth half. Concerning. It seems to me like there's a potential there to be worse than any meme coin drop I've ever heard of, since 2 trillion would basically be the majority, and at some points bigger than the market cap of crypto altogether, which I think is like 3 trillion and change right now. It's like Apple. So, not financial advice, but something I just wanted to bring up. Elon, if you would like to listen to the space and respond, feel free. I would like to hear your side of it. Thank you, Gavin. Let's take a look here. I will just post that up to the Jumbotron since you were nice enough to. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm sitting here on my Android like, where is it not posted? Oh. Because I can't put stuff on the Jumbotron anymore on my Android, y'all. It's crazy. Hard out here. That's another reason why, Queen, I bought the Apple product. I'm gonna start talking about Apple like McDonald's CEO talks about burgers. I'm just gonna start calling it the product.
Shit, Bender. I have an issue with that. I was an Android guy, but my family coerced me. Well, they shamed me into getting an Apple, so now I'm part of the Apple crew.
I got an Apple. I had Apple before this one. It outdated itself, and I couldn't update the Twitter app. So I recently went out and got another one. But I use it because, like, you know, the fam was calling me Unc because they couldn't FaceTime me. They're like, "Come on, Unc. Come on, Unc." I was like, "Oh, now I'm Unc now. Oh man." So I had to get on the FaceTime with the, ironically, my nephews. So yeah, I really was Unc. But yeah. So yeah, in nieces too. Yeah, they was clouding me. But yeah, you know, it was just good. You know, and I like to keep an open mind with everything. Shout out to Zach here with the Pulse Switch too. I'm gonna post that up here just because I got some breaking info from Pulse Switch earlier with that one. Queen, I don't know what's going on. If you can get back up here for some final thoughts, let us know. If not, that's cool. Right, you got any final thoughts you'd like to give us?
Just stay strong, everybody. Just I always like to say when I go on spaces for other people, I hope you don't mind my saying. If you live in the U.S., please email your senators, call them, your U.S. senators, and let them know that we have a voice. We are voters in their constituencies, and we would like them to speedily pass the Clarity Act.
What did you think? Queen asked this one earlier. I don't know if you got to see the clip where Jamie Dimon was on, I believe, I don't know, I'm just going to call it the investment show. That Maria lady, she's always hosting it.
Maria Bartiromo show.
Maria Bartiromo, thank you. And he had called out Brian Armstrong to F that guy, basically. Or no, he's full of crap, is what I basically heard him. So that's what it was, Queen. He's full of crap. He's full of crap. What did you think about that interview? If you got
He's also going around social media saying that the Clarity Act is going to destroy stablecoins. I think that he's really, 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 really scared, and this is the last ditch effort to scare some people out of the market. Personally,
you think he's really scared?
Very scared. That's Floridian slip. You don't act that way unless something's wrong, unless you feel uncomfortable.
What if I were to tell you that JP Morgan, Barclays, and another company have been secretly developing an entire blockchain?
Yes, and guess what?
Okay.
JP Morgan Chase is developing it on Base. And who owns Base?
Coinbase or Brian Armstrong, right?
Yup.
Yeah. I think it's a little posturing myself personally. But I wouldn't be. I think there's some truth to it, but I think it's more of a setup of if the Clarity Act does ultimately pass, and it's like, we got Jamie Dimon. You know, we beat him. Like he was out there saying Brian Armstrong's full of crap. You know, we won, and like I don't know. I it's just too much surveillance state in the bill, man. Like I'm not excited about it. It's better than nothing, but I'm not. I'm just going to put it politely like that. I'm not going to fight it. I'm just going to say I'm not excited about it today because I feel like the after I learned the Genius Act just froze the stable coins. I'm just done. I'm just done with lawmakers this year.
I'm done with them too, brother. After this, I'm pretty much done after this year. But I just want to remind everybody that you're right with the surveillance state. I was telling people, like I told Jen, that what they did, don't forget, Circle and Taylor, they're basically a backdoor CBDC for the government, right? The government doesn't control directly, but they can tell them to shut shit down, just like a CBDC does. So yeah, we were warned. Marjorie Taylor Greene and others try to warn us, but it's not going to be easy. We're going to have to give a lot to get a little.
Oh, it's deeper than that. It's any stable that wants to operate in the United States. Even that SoFi, I don't know if you're in the room earlier, but SoFi Bank just came out with a stable. Now you can do stables on crypto, or you can just do regular fiat. You can kind of intertwine between the two. Ask Grok. Grok was like, "Yep, there's feasible too, bro." It's like anything in the U.S. just goes. Like I was talking to somebody in a DM group. DAI is there's some gray area there, but technically the U.S. just can't freeze it. It's kind of decentralized, it's kind of outside here, but you can just find it on platforms in the U.S. that you can use. But yeah, it's pretty much just all of them. So I mean, like as we see banks now popping up with stables, just put that in your brain cells. Like, yep, freezable, and then it's just a matter of one day somebody just going, why are all these different companies different stables? Let's just make them all one, and then you just have one world government, and there you go. But
Well, I mean, they're already starting, Shape Bender. We're going to talk about it tomorrow, but we're all friends here. Japan basically is saying that you can use foreign-based stable tokens as of August 1st, I believe, or July 1st, U.S. stable tokens. So they're basically welcoming the U.S. stable token as the de facto, currency.
I wonder what that does to the yen.
I mean, the yen's, sorry for swearing, but it's been F for a long time. So I think that they've kind of come to the realization that nobody wants to spend $5,000 for a yen combo at McDonald's when you can just spend $20 US.
Right. Very interesting things with the yen. I can't remember the whole story, but I guess Japan and the United States and everybody kind of got together and did something to the yen to help out the U.S. and in return, Japan got something out of it. And now it's like the yen's been paying for it for a long time, and yeah, it's pretty deep. What it all goes into. That's for sure. Thank you, Queen. I don't think you can come up because I think you would have brought back your speaker by now. I'm sorry, y'all. I try not to check DMs too much while I'm on spaces because it tends to slow me up and crash me out. But on behalf of Queen, again, I appreciate y'all taking a moment to listen to the trench lessons. That was kind of out of sequence. I'm not sure if she'll come up with next week, but always very thought out, well articulated concepts, and always, like I said before, it kind of gives me pause. And again, I'm grateful that we got the time that we did get with her, because she's, as y'all saw earlier on her timeline, she's been tweeting everything from the hospital, y'all. That's kind of crazy. So shout out to Grok. I'm just going to leave it on a positive AI note tonight, and everything. I'm going to stay off of the data centers. My tirade against them this week a little bit more. Maybe next week I might come back with them. I got some more heat for y'all, but this week we're going to leave it alone, and we're going to just we're going to give a shout out to Grok and salute to you for helping Queen and possibly avoiding things that could have got a lot worse. Again, appreciate everyone that's been in the building here. Make sure again y'all check out tomorrow night's lineup. Seat at the table, uh, blockchain and beyond. Of course, street space. Support your local spaces. Support your local farmers. Support your local businesses. Support this local worldwide movement. That's known as crypto. With everything, and definitely be safe in your travels. God bless y'all. Take care. Have fun.
Good night.
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.